Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching Gossip Girl, Season 1, Episode 12.
School lies.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be Sex Lies and Videotape.
Yeah.
But they said it in the episode. So I love this. I mostly just love this intro. It's a fine episode, but I remember this intro. I became obsessed with that song. It's Oh Yeah song by Moby.
Why have you been avoiding me?
It went on my playlist anytime we were in a swimming pool. Yeah. Do you remember for 5 years? It's so good. Chuck is being particularly gross. He's blackmailing Blair regarding her virginity with Nate.
Yeah. Also, he keeps asking all kinds of questions like, how did you fake it with Nate? Like, how'd you fake your virginity? First of all, Blair definitely did gymnastics as a kid and does horseback riding and stuff. There's regardless. Also, Nate would have absolutely no clue.
I don't know. I don't think Nate is.
No, Nate would have no idea. And it's also just gross language and behavior and
so gross.
Blech. And then he is leching all over Serena the entire episode and talking about how he wants to fuck his sister.
Incest. So basically, Serena and Blair were hanging out, and Serena had a key to the swimming pool, and they broke in and were having a party, and little by little, things got out of hand, and some dummy ran straight into a column.
A pillar.
Yeah. And it fell in the pool, and luckily, and frankly, it's not that I think they should have just been able to get away with it, but I was mostly just impressed that they all sort of did the right thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's actually very telling because Nate was Johnny on the spot.
He was.
To rescue this guy.
He's a lifeguard.
But I'm saying, it's we're frequently sort of criticizing Nate.
Yeah. He's just a dummy. He doesn't mean he can't do things.
But they have a new headmistress, and you made a comment while you're watching it where you're like, I forgot how much she sucks. And I actually think she's pretty great.
She's awesome, but she's it's too much of a hard ass for these kids, especially because it literally doesn't matter, because to cut all the way to the end, Bart is still able to go over her head and donate a library.
That's what I like, is that she sort of comes in and calls their bluff. She's sort of no, I mean business. I'm going to put you in your spot. And she puts up a good enough show to actually rattle them.
For me, it's more of
because she actually makes leeway with them.
Headway.
Sure. Yes.
She gives them zero leeway.
Yes. She makes headway with them.
But I think the only reason she makes headway is because Nate goes rogue because he's trying to protect Blair. And the thing is the only reason that anybody ends up doing the right thing is because Dan is being such a little bitch baby about his scholarship.
But it's the kind of thing, it's yes, he has a point, but
he
also...
that was a little...
No,
Dan absolutely has a point.
He has a point, but it's also a very self-fulfilling prophecy thing where it's you're also perpetuating this yourself.
Sure. Yeah.
By putting that energy out there. Yeah. But no, I really do like that she really tried to lay down the law and almost succeeds, but then at the last minute, the rich do what the rich do.
Yeah.
And Bart Bass steps in and handles the situation. And it's because, do we see her again, or did he get rid of her?
No, I think she's their headmistress for the rest of the season, all of season 2.
I don't know. It for me, that sort of confirmation of the status quo, especially when you contrast it with Dan and Rufus, and even Serena's confliction about it, because it's she was prepared.
I guess she's only in 2 more episodes, but
yeah, she was prepared to take her punishment. You know what I mean? And it's and she ultimately chooses the right thing morally from the perspective of the audience by leaving the engagement party and going to do her homework with Dan. But still, it's it's a reminder that in the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, she is playing with different rules.
Sure. Yeah.
It's just that simple.
Yeah. 100%.
And I think that is ultimately worth it. And I think that there were two takeaways for me from this episode. And that the first was that it was in fact Serena who broke the rules.
Yeah.
Even good Serena. I think they largely carry it well, but I do have a hard time imagining Serena being so terrible.
Yeah.
I think it can be partially explained away by maturity, because it's like if she were in fact as terrible as we keep hearing she was, then clearly she was doing it for attention. And maybe she's learned how to manage that.
Yeah.
And also we do end up finding out a little bit more of what actually happened.
Yeah.
And it is enough to give a person
come to Jesus. Yeah.
But no, I think the fact that, because you assume it's Chuck, that Chuck's the one, that scoundrel's the one who broke the rules. And then, when Dan finds out it's Serena, I think that's really sort of a wake-up call. And then the second wake-up call of Bart being able to.
Yeah.
So this whole episode, Vanessa is doing this awful documentary, and it's a fine enough plot. It's not good for Vanessa, because at no point is she like Jenny could have pulled something like this off, because Jenny has sort of an unspoken acceptance and unspoken truth.
She's just younger than them. She's still one of their peers. The problem with Vanessa also is that she's breaking the number one rule of being a documentarian, which is keeping an open fucking mind and not coming in with your bias already set.
Because she's reality TV show producing. You know what I mean? Like, she's producing this. She's not documenting it. But it's like she doesn't even go to their school. No. So it's like she's
just lurking.
Yeah, she has no business being anywhere here. And it's just that sort of thing where it's like, I mean it. I keep saying it in reference to Serena only, but it's like, you don't get the privilege of entering this echelon of society and then treating it that way.
Yeah.
And so it's like, this would have been a better plot for me if it were a more deserving character, or a character that would be even remotely conflicted by what they acquire.
Yeah.
Like, because she just is moral high ground the entire episode.
And she really doesn't have a leg to stand on regarding that. She's not better than them just because she's poor. That doesn't make you morally a better person. Like, morally, that is not the way things work. You're not cool just because you're poor.
But even the whole thing, it's like, even Chuck, like, because Blair tries to, like, intimidate her and it doesn't work. And so Chuck tries to buy her off. And even that, it's like she gives him a fake tape and then does charity work with the money. And so it's like, I don't know. That's not fun for us, the audience. No. It's like, it's just smug. Also, like, I genuinely
keep that wad of money and pay your fucking bills.
Because the only way that story is even remotely interesting is its ties to Blair, with Blair paying her rent and being like, there, you don't, or I don't owe you anymore. Can I go back to disliking you?
Yeah.
And Vanessa's like, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
That's the closest we get to any enjoyment from that entire plot line. So I don't know.
It really does suck, because I was with you. I wanted to have
reevaluated,
change my mind about Vanessa, and she's just a fucking creep.
I can't understand what the point is for her character.
Yeah.
Like, I want to, and that's why I'm like, is this something from the books that they felt obligated to do? Is it poorly written? Is it poorly acted? Is it
I don't think it's poorly acted. I think Jessica Shore is.
I've seen her in other things. I think she's fine.
Yeah.
But it's just sort of, like I said, that's not an arc. That's that smug.
Starting the episode smug and ending the episode smug is not a journey.
Let alone her entire character arc. So it's like, I don't understand the point of, and again, it's like, you were like, to go back to your point, lurking, creeping, like invading privacy. She's properly in Blair's house, trying to be like, because Blair's like, I won't sign a release, and she's like, I'm not distributing it. And it's like, well, you're trespassing. Yeah. Like, you want to start playing this game?
You were not invited here. You're trespassing. You took video that nobody gave you the authority to.
Easy, Linda Tripp. You know, it's just like, I don't know. I'm really very baffled.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
Rufus and Lily continue this infernal tete-a-tete. Matthew
it is
and Kelly.
Pretty obnoxious until it's resolved.
Matthew and Kelly are charming enough to pull it off with their like half-hearted you packed light. Because they say nothing in that scene.
No.
Like nothing is actually accomplished.
Because he says you packed light and she's like, please try to understand. And he says, I think I do. And then the scene is over. And she goes to get engaged to Bart, which already happened, but is happening again. I guess this was after Christmas hiatus. So yeah, they're redoing it.
And what happened here this time is Serena essentially begged her not to do this.
Not to go with Rufus.
Which, I get it. I get it.
But I mean, I don't want to spoil too hard, but it becomes an issue later anyway, so.
Yeah, and it is nice to see Lily prioritize
her daughter. Yeah.
Because let's be honest, she's had chances.
Yeah.
Lily's had chances at love.
No, 100%. And again, it's the same like kind of looks on Kelly Rutherford's face where she just is like, well, this is what I'm doing. She's very pragmatic about it.
She made her bed.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not that she doesn't like Bart. It's just not the same type of like passion.
And now Serena's going to be batting him off from both sides.
Bart sits down so close to her, and then it's just like murmuring in her ear the rest of the scene. Ugh. And then Chuck smarms up on her left, and it's just like, want to go bones, sis?
They're tag teaming. It's like, ugh. So I think that's pretty much it. Did Nate and Blair, he grand gestured for her.
He did grand
He's really trying, but I still get the sense that he doesn't know why.
He doesn't really. It's because he wants something to go back to the way that it was.
That works for me.
Because his dad is in jail and his mom is useless. We haven't seen her since the episode where his dad went to jail. So, you know, I get it. Also, Blair's pretty great, and they had sex, before. So
right.
Yeah.
So, so that was a fine sort of status quo episode.
Well, it was like a mid-season opener, so it's like not anything bonkers.
Oh, well, I said my two takeaways was Serena, that you never know, and then that the Bart sort of getting her back in.
Yeah.
So
good graces.
So, all right. Well, we will watch the next episode and see you later.
Bye.
I'll never tell. You know you love me. XOXO. Gossip Girl.